and nimble too. You know, truth be told, Coach told me I was his favorite player. And he was going to put me in a special position, left out. I told him, I said, Coach, I wasn't familiar with that position. Guess he was creating something special just for me. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the honor is to toast one of the most successful collegiate coaches in the country that I was fortunate enough to play on his team for 4 years. As I pondered the topic of toasting Coach, I thought to myself, what was likely his most memorable year in TSU? Then it hit me. His first year, that had to be the one he remembered most. So Coach, I know you can't wait to relive the first season. Booth's first team meet at Murphy Center, winter 1979. There was 150 players in one room. Coach walked in with his staff, and for 3.5 hours said that we were the cesspool of the OVC. And I'm not sure you guys can ever win a game. The party is over. So imagine that for 3.5 hours. He said, look in front of you, look behind you, look on both sides of you, because that person won't be here by the end of spring. Winter workouts began. After winter workouts, we had 75 players. 75 players remained. Out of the ones that didn't make it, 32 were hospitalized and placed on permanent injury reserve. 23 were institutionalized in a mental facility in Murfreesboro. 20 of them just ran out of Murphy's Center saying, I love my mom. Spring practice began. Coach divided the team up. Jesus Christ and damn it. For those of you that don't know those sides, Jesus Christ was offense, and damn it was defense. No wonder Coach had such successful defenses. He would scream damn it, and the pursuit to the ball was on. In that time period in the first spring, there were 2 famous sayings that Coach had, one of which was honey hush. Well, honey hush was only used if you did something good, so that was hardly used the first spring. The other one was God Almighty. This term was used almost in every other sentence. The term was used so much that I would look to the sky anticipating the second coming of Christ. It was used so much during the game that the referee next to the huddle would hear Coach screaming, God Almighty. And I looked at him and the referee's looking to the sky. And I poked him and I said, God's not coming. He says that all the time. The first spring, hand pads and forearm pads were not an option. You were lucky to have the damn helmet. If you were injured on the field, Coach said to crawl off, nobody's coming to get you. The end of spring came. At the end of spring, only imagine this, beginning of winter, there was 150 players. By the end of spring, we had 11. We didn't even have enough to have a spring game. Motivator or Terminator, you tell me. And Coach would give you a stare like Medusa, but instead of turning you to stone, he would take away your manhood. I can't tell you how many defensive backs sound like little girls at the end of practice. Scott Burton still has a high voice to this day. I always instructed the freshmen, do not look him directly in the eye unless you're wearing a lead job. So here we are, the first season starts. It starts with 3-a-days in August with very, very limited water. At one point, I stopped sweating and my fat began to cry. Coach's reply, you don't need water. You need parents to raise you right. With that said, We ate what little grass was on the field for hydration and nutrition. Coach lost 75 pounds that first season. Now we know how we felt. After picture day from the beginning of the season, Coach would meet with reporters every week. Coach had a canned response to all the reporters the first year. We suck and we're going to get killed. Boots used to have closed practices that first year. I never understood that. We couldn't even get anybody to come to the damn games, and he's closing practice. You'd think he'd want to encourage people to come to watch practice. But I'll tell you what, you knew you were in for a long season when Coach recruited punters in the school newspaper classified. One particular game I remember was during homecoming, the very first season. And Butch Hamby, I know you're here. Love you, buddy. But Butch is one of our Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Always got a little carried away with prayer. We were getting our ass drilled like 30-0 at our own homecoming. Butch is in the back still praying Kumbaya or something. And Butch's damn eye, you know that stare. He's just staring. So finally we go out to the field. We go out to the field, and on the track there's a homecoming float on fire. Boots looks at Butch Hamby and says, "Where's your God now?" You know, Coach used to really love to grab the face mask. I can remember one game I came to the sideline and he grabbed my face mask so many times that the referee threw a personal flag on him. Okay, here we are, the first season. We're at the last game of the first season. Coach came in for the last meeting. Now let me build this up for you. The first season, there's 9 games in the season. We're 0-8. Coach walks into the last meeting. LT, get in here. Of course, all of us are looking to the sky because we didn't want to look him in the eye. Coach announces a revelation. You boys know you can go out there today and set a damn school record. Or ask them, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. We're a little giddy inside. Coach smoking, he said, you could go out there and lose every damn game of the season. In the history of MTSU, there's not a team that's lost every damn game. Well, let me tell you something. It was really close. Because in the fourth quarter, we were still getting our ass beat by 10. Thank God Scotty Burton came with an interception to save the day. You would have thought we'd won the national championship. I was very fortunate to say, though, my last year, my senior year, we were 8-3, and the next year he went on to win the OVC. I couldn't go without doing a couple of Coach's famous one-liners. Some of these may have been repeated, some may not. Are you always as stupid or is today a special occasion? Son, you are living proof that a man can live without a brain. I don't know what makes you so stupid, but it really works. I've seen people like you, but I had to pay admission. You wouldn't hit the water if it fell out of a boat. Son, what are you doing here? Did your parents ever ask you to run away from home? And then the last one, every dog has his day. We heard that quite a bit the first season. And then without the roast, I don't think we could go without doing a top 10 things that really pissed Coach off. Now this is a top 10 that really just got him so fired up. He's like, God almighty. Number 10, turned up collars. Coach would say, it was cool on Elvis, but he's dead. Hats. There would be no hats worn in the house. Returning candy at the movie theater. On Friday nights, Coach would take us all to the movies, and occasionally somebody would get a bad M&M. You didn't want to take that back to the concession because Boots was standing over there. Being late for the movie. The first year, I don't think Coach really had it figured out, and he was trying to depend on us to get our cars in line, and we all go to the movie at the same time. So if you were late, you had to sit in the back of the movie with Boots. One particular time, I remember Mickey McCullough was late. So he had to sit in the movie, and we were watching Kramer versus Kramer. That was the first time I ever seen Mickey McCullough cry. Trying to order something different or sending your food back. Pre-game meals. If it was on the table, you better eat it, even if it was a turd. If not, if he saw you even chanting to the waitress or anything, he would just flow across the floor and try to grab it. Number 5, facial hair. Why would you cultivate something in your face that grows wild on your ass? Number 3, cooking hot dogs after curfew. That would earn you a suspension, Brown Sanford. Number 2, dirty noses. Coach must have hated dirty noses. I really didn't understand it. But he always said that to us after a game on Saturday. Keep your noses clean. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, we're young guys. We're 18 to 20 years old. That's not the body part that's going to get dirty. And the number one thing that would make Coach John is like, God almighty, stirring your tea too loud during pregame meals. You know, I really think the Dominicans have rubber spoons. Because that really irritates me. Coach, I do want you to know, I'm almost in the bear with me. I want you to know that your mentoring has instilled in me today in my professional career. You know, just 2 months ago, I had a young man come into my office. He wasn't quite making the sales numbers. He sat down in front of me, and I said, your mama didn't raise you right. I said, furthermore, I want you to sell like you're shitting on lightning. And if you can't do that, I want you to get your ass out of the parking lot and give me 5 whoppies. Unfortunately, for some reason, I was reported to HR, and I'm currently in my 3rd week of my 6-week sensitivity training class. In closing, I'd like to say, Coach, you were like a second father to me and to a lot of us. You were a motivator, mentor, and a leader on and off the field. And with you, Coach, we always knew where we stood. It was an honor to play for one of the greatest coaches in collegiate history. You have positively influenced my life, both personally and professionally, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. And honey, hush. This is your legacy, a profound group of men that love and respect you today just as much as they did back then, if not more. For all that, I say thank you. I would not be the man, the husband, the father that I am today without your positive influence in my life. Here's to you, Coach John.